Hello, beautiful souls. So this is a collective tarot reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. And I don't know exactly where this reading is going to go today. I really don't have any initial feel on the messages, so I'm going to be leaving things very open-ended, which means that it's a great opportunity for intention setting. If you have anything that you'd like to come through this reading personally, then you can set that as an intention either within your own mind or by writing it in the comments section, whatever feels most aligned for you. But I will say this, to kick off this reading, I'm picking up on a specific divine feminine who is at the moment feeling very lonely and very emotional. So for the divine feminine that I am tuned into here, there is this sense of emotional charge. There is this feeling of really deep, I don't even know if loneliness is the right word, but it's this sense of having done things alone for so much of your life that this phase that you're being pushed into, where you are meant to be supported, where you are meant to be seen, where you are meant to be held in the same way that you've held others in many kinds of ways, it's almost a little bit uncomfortable. And what I mean by that is it brings to the surface every part of you that has resisted being loved, or that has told you that somehow your value comes from being the one who can do everything on your own without needing that support. Because you've really learned to hold your own, energetically speaking, through these spiritual awakenings and activations that you've gone through. But now that you've reached that point of confidence and empowerment, it's almost like a voice is coming in here to your life and saying, yes, you are capable of doing all of this on your own, but you don't have to. You can be supported. And in fact, there's such a bigness around your higher purpose here on earth, your spiritual purpose on the planet, that it almost requires that kind of support. It requires reinforcements, I'm hearing. So I'm picking up on a divine feminine that has always had a divine restlessness, because you've had this very strong sense that there's a meaning and purpose to your life that has been really difficult to put into words, or to even really just grasp at the conscious level. And what you need to know is that the reason you've always felt that strong sense of purpose is because you've been aware that you have a very unique soul blueprint, meaning your soul's plan for this lifetime. And so your soul's plan for this lifetime was to really hold a very particular high frequency energy in your being, and to exude that frequency in such a way that would naturally uplift, elevate, inspire, and empower others. But I'm getting that for some of you, you may be holding that frequency through something specific that you are creating, or maybe even throughout the course of your lifetime, it will be a series of creations, many different kinds of roles and projects, but all with the core underlying soul role, so to speak, of allowing you to hold a frequency that has this inspiring impact on others. But what I'm getting as well is that for some of you listening, this could be far less specific. So it could be that the way in which you are actually holding this energy and influencing others with it is simply by being, by existing on this planet. And in fact, I feel that for someone here listening, I got the letter initials L-I and A and T. These could be in someone's name somewhere, but I got the name Lily for someone as well. But anyway, so what you need to know is that simply by having the courage to exist here on planet Earth, you are fulfilling your purpose here on the planet. So if you felt this restlessness, this feeling of, I have to figure out what I'm doing with my life or why I'm here, yes, this purpose will naturally evolve into many different physical forms and outlets as you keep flowing with this energy. That will just happen naturally. But what you need to know as well is that you are already doing the work. You are already having that positive impact on the planet, simply by having the courage to stand in this energy while simultaneously existing on the planet. Now, specifically, I have to say with the storm warning card, and I feel like for someone listening, I am picking up on a dynamic where for a divine feminine, there are a lot of chaotic feelings or turbulence, inner turbulence, coming up around a specific connection with the masculine in your life. Now, whenever I use these labels, masculine or feminine, keep in mind that these aren't necessarily connected to a particular gender. We all have a balance of both energies within us. So these messages could connect to your inner masculine, your inner feminine, or to some external person or situation. I got the name Rory for someone, which is a very unique name. But what I'm getting here is there's this masculine energy that has brought up this surge of emotion within you, or some of this may actually be you picking up through energetic transference what has been triggered within this masculine. So they may actually be feeling very emotionally chaotic. So if you suddenly started feeling a lot of emotions that felt very turbulent, very chaotic, I keep getting the word self-sabotaging. So again, I'm speaking to a very specific group here, and especially in these collective readings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the channel, I do tend to pick up on many threads of energy and many different dynamics. So only take the messages that are truly resonant for you and leave the rest here. I got the name Eliza as well, but I'm picking up that there is this turbulent energy coming up. And I feel that if you've been sensing this as a divine feminine completely out of the blue, I'm seeing a perfectly blue sky, and then this storm rolls in out of nowhere. So if things felt really aligned with a particular masculine, and then all of a sudden you started feeling doubt, fear, insecurity, kind of this whirlwind of negative emotions, I feel there are a couple things at play here. First of all, this connection is so soft and so warm and so soul aligned that it actually seems to bring up these raw aspects within yourself. And that's part of the emotions that you're feeling. It's that this is activating your heart chakra in such a way that it's kind of opening the floodgates here emotionally. It's allowing you to feel everything. And yes, I'm hearing elation turns to sadness. So wow, this is a very interesting dynamic. I just don't know who I'm speaking to here, but for whoever this is, it's almost like this masculine in your life causes you to flip from elation, from pure bliss, like feet not touching the ground. And by the way, that was a quote I kept receiving today, like my feet weren't even touching the ground, like someone just being absolutely on cloud nine about a person or a connection, whether that's you or the other person here. But if you've experienced this elation suddenly turning to a sadness, almost like a bittersweetness, I'm getting that this is because of how this soul connection is activating and opening both of your hearts. And yes, both of your hearts, because what you're feeling, again, it's not just about what's happening within your energy body. It's about the fact that you have such a strong energy cord flowing between you and this masculine that secondarily, you are also picking up on their triggered emotions. And I keep getting the words like insecurity, inadequacy, like this is a masculine who may be feeling some turbulence because they're questioning what kind of value or worth they can bring to your life. And they know that they're going to have to take some kind of major journey here. It's going to be a major undertaking in order to remain connected to you, is what I'm getting. With man holding a coin reversed, they may be feeling very, I'm hearing out of control. emotionally. So if you notice this masculine pull back their energy somewhat, it's because you've also activated their heart just in the same way they've activated yours, where they are actually nearing you. They are feeling this elation about the two of you connecting, but also this sadness. And I can't quite pin down where the sadness is coming from, but it's the other side of the coin here. It's the raw emotion coming to the surface to be healed, to be released around not feeling good enough, around wondering if this is sustainable, if it's even possible. I'm hearing too good for this world. So something about this soul connection truly feels otherworldly, unearthly. But the flip side of that is it feels so otherworldly that at times there's kind of this question hanging in the air, like, where does this fit into our physical realities? This is actually really reminding me of a lot of threads of energy we've been picking up in mini readings on the channel. If you've been following some of the recent readings, I feel this is going to relate to a kind of, let's say, more of a shadow side of some of those dynamics, because we've been channeling a lot of the lighter aspects of this intense soul connection. But I feel this is channeling into some of the shadow, the fact that part of why this connection has needed to be so slowed down and paced in the physical realm is because the way that it opens both of your hearts is quite literally overwhelming at times. It's like this flood of emotions. And so if this masculine pulls back, know that it's only to really restabilize themselves, to restore their sense of confidence within themselves, with the solar plexus chakra in the upright position here. So adjacent possibilities upright. I'm hearing, I just want to run away together. There's almost this feeling of being so magnetically pulled to each other, but it's almost like this connection exists in its own space that no one else can access or really even understand. And not only that, but it's like, when the two of you get together, you're in completely your own bubble, your own world. It's almost as though no one else exists in the room but the two of you. And yet, at the same time, that also means this connection is very difficult to ground, because it is like the two of you are existing on this other planet together. And then when you try to bring it back down into physical reality to integrate it in a sense, there can be this sense of not really fitting into each other's worlds. But I'm hearing it's because you're meant to create and stabilize this new world together. It's almost like that place where the two of you connect that is very high vibrational, that's very mutually inspiring, that beautiful space that you are meeting in telepathically and energetically is actually the space that's meant to be integrated more with your grounded daily reality. You're meant to be experiencing more of that high level energy in a tangible, regular, kind of grounded way. And so I feel that really represents this next stage of your lives that you're moving into together with the Sun card. And it's almost like you're helping each other into that next phase. But that also means there are a lot of complications, because there are so many facets and aspects of both of your current lives that look very out of place, that almost look like they just don't fit or align with your new energy or with this connection that you are in the process of materializing between the two of you. I am getting that this is going to be a very gradual process. And right as that thought occurred to me, we got the Patience card really confirming that message, that the materialization of this connection is inherently going to need to be gradual, because it's almost like every time the two of you get together or communicate, you exchange these massive amounts of energy that then have to settle and be integrated. And in the process of their integration, they also bring up these fears, these doubts, these insecurities that can only arise because this connection is so profound, intense, and loving on a soul level. The reason that these fears and doubts are coming to the surface is because they're being called forth by this extremely intense love energy, a true love energy between the two of you. Even if that word love hasn't been spoken, I'm really feeling the love so strongly here. So I'm going to be reshuffling the cards, and I specifically want to really speak to this masculine's higher self and see what they're going through. Specifically for the divine feminines here who are experiencing a little bit of confusion with this masculine, a little bit of uncertainty. Okay, so what else can I channel here? Of course, we get, I know you're the one, and that scares me. This is a masculine grappling with their own fears because they sense that this is everything they've ever wanted. This is everything they've been aiming for, they've been wishing for, wrapped up in a person. And it's almost like they got what they manifested here when you entered their life, but now they're a little bit afraid of the very thing that they manifested in, that they so desperately wanted. I'm hearing illusion of options. So this reminds me of a reading I did a little while ago about someone pretending they have options when really the only option is you. So this may be a masculine that at times confuses you because you may feel as though you wonder whether there's other people in their life, or maybe you catch hints of that being the case, or at times they might pull back very strongly and really pace this connection. But know that the reason this happens, it's not because they actually are pursuing any other options, because what I'm really getting here is, again, it's like someone who is trying to force themselves to keep their options open when in reality, the only viable option for them is you, because you are the only one that is touching their heart in this way. We also have the card, I'm trying to understand myself more. You feel like home to me. I regret how I've handled the situation. So this is a masculine who's aware that at times they can come off as hot and cold, that they can pull back at times when they get overwhelmed emotionally. And I feel that there's going to be some kind of communication about this. I'm almost getting this like aha moment energy where this light bulb goes off within them and they realize something, and then they want to communicate that to you. So let's figure out what this person wants to communicate. I have to say, right when I asked that question in my head, I just so clearly heard the word love, that what they really want to communicate to you is their love. We have blame in the reverse position. I'm hearing don't blame yourself. So maybe this person's higher self is saying that if you, divine feminine, are feeling some chaos around this emotionally, don't blame yourself for what you're feeling, because it's actually the physical form of this masculine's kind of fear and their hot and cold behavior that is a product of that fear that is causing you to feel turbulent, because you're so intuitive that you're picking up on that with the relationships card. So I feel this masculine is going to communicate wanting some type of more manifested, tangible, or concrete relationship here. That it's like they want to communicate that they want this to be something real. And I feel it's very important that that's going to be communicated, because up until this point, there's been such a kind of airy fairy, like untouchable energy around this, where it's felt extremely high vibrational. And of course, I just pulled the love card, that they want to communicate their love for you. So this energy between the two of you, it's very high frequency. It's almost like a dream, though. It's almost otherworldly. It's difficult to define. It's difficult to grab a hold of. Again, it almost feels like it exists in this other space. I'm hearing in your futures, the futures that you are meant to share together. This is getting so quantum, but I talked about this in a previous mini reading about how there was a masculine where it's almost like you represent their future, but so much of their life resonates with their past. And they're in this kind of tunnel, this 4D tunnel, so to speak, between the 3D and the 5D, between a lower version of themselves and a higher version of themselves. And you are this guiding light through that tunnel because you give them a glimpse into what is possible for them in that futuristic timeline. But there's this sense of it really not fully being real yet, or tangible, or fully grounded into the physical. So there might be this mutual frustration where you're both feeling this extremely high intensity energy for the other, but there's almost this sense of, how do we ground this? What do we do with this high frequency energy besides just experiencing it? But really within that question is the answer. All you can really do is allow yourself to experience it. And in its experience, you continue to allow it to carry you, to move you into those more consistent, stable, high vibrational frequencies that will ultimately allow you to actually connect in a more tangible way with that futuristic timeline. I'm hearing you're right on the brink of meeting each other too soon. I know that sounds really strange, but it's almost like a divine timing window opened up between the two of you, and your guides immediately pushed you both together into a meeting, but that window had just barely opened up. So it's like you're almost early to something here. There's a sense of things moving slowly or feeling hot and cold, because this is going to grow into something massive, into something that has the potential to be very long-term and stable and manifested if that's what you want. But it's almost like you landed on the perfect person or partnership or thing, but you're there a little bit early. Like the doors opened to the concert, but the show hasn't started yet, and you're kind of just milling around, like waiting. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting here with this person. With the failure card in the reverse position, this is someone who has so much fear of messing things up with you, fear of failing here in some sense, or failing you, failing this. I'm hearing one chance at this connection. I don't know if it's literal that they only have one chance, but in their mind, with the worry card as well, this person feels as though it's like they have one chance to do things right with you in this lifetime. And again, they're feeling like they got this chance a little earlier than they would have liked, because they would have liked more time to stabilize and build themselves up and feel more confident. But nevertheless, that window opened for divine timing for the two of you to meet. And now here you are connecting in the physical, and they're going to have to be pushed into that space of radically transforming themselves and becoming the person that can step up into this, even though, again, it feels almost like it's been too early or too soon. So, okay, let's clear the energy here and ask very directly, what is this masculine feeling towards you, Divine Feminine? What is this masculine feeling? So we have the solar plexus chakra upright. I want to build my confidence to make this a reality. But then, of course, we have the storm warning card. But I feel a lot of fears and doubts rising to the surface here. But I'm getting this inner struggle where this masculine is working on building their confidence. We also had door to personal healing and happiness in the upright position. So there's this sense of wanting to work their way up to communicate something, wanting to end that inner conflict, almost like this ongoing debate within themselves. Should I move forward with this? Am I allowed to move forward with this? Interesting. So what else is this masculine feeling towards you? The Tower. So they could tell the moment that they met you, or even just laid eyes on you, that you were going to alter their entire life. Now, they may have not thought this consciously, but on a soul level, they realized that in that moment of seeing you, meeting you, connecting with you, that it was going to be it for them, that you were going to be it for them. I'm hearing the love of their life. Wow, this is getting very intense, but this person feels as though you are the love of their life, in the sense that, yes, if you chose to let this go, they could move on and try and date other people, but they would always carry around this knowing that you were a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love for them. They see you in this Nine of Pentacles energy being someone who's thriving, stable, independent, and they see themselves more so in the Nine of Pentacles reversed and the Five of Cups, feeling like they need a lot of support and assistance in their life, that they haven't yet, I'm hearing that they're half formed, that they haven't yet fully embodied the most empowered version of themselves that they'd like to be when they connect with someone like you. And yet with the Knight of Cups here, this is someone who wants to follow their heart regardless. I'm also hearing that you stimulate a lot of creative energy within this person. I'm hearing make them want to create, make them want to express themselves. It's just the natural spilling over of the heart chakra that you've activated within them. But I do see here, once again, I keep getting this card and thinking, is it a mistake that I'm pulling this? But it can't be, because I pulled it now 2 times. So it's the Queen of Wands reversed. And this tells me that around this masculine, there is some potential, again, only take this if it resonates, but a feminine influence who, these could be parents, by the way, even from their childhood, because we also have a Queen of Swords, a King of Swords, and a Queen of Wands reversed. So let's go ahead and reshuffle the rest of the deck. So if this resonates as parental energy or influences from their childhood, this would be a mother that was very controlling, very imposing, very strict with them, very much, I'm hearing, not allowing them to be their own person, but also a King of Swords as kind of a father figure, someone who is very structured, but very logical, to the point of, I'm hearing, discouraging them from following their dreams, following their heart, really being this, really allowing themselves to go for what their soul wanted them to do in life. I feel like this is a masculine who's always been very connected to their heart and soul, always very spiritually mature in that sense, but they've had influences around them who have tried to push them into this logical space that's almost just miserable for them. So again, it could be parental figures. This also could just be societal influences or people around them, ex-relationships, something of that nature. But I do have to say, with this Queen of Wands, this definitely feels like a feminine energy that is very controlling, because it gives them an artificial sense of safety. And so this may have been a romantic feminine from their past, but this also could have been a mother figure. This could be a friend, something going on in their internal energy. But then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands. So you are so different from these influences they're accustomed to, whether these are societal influences, friends, past lovers, parental influences. Regardless, you are just like existing in your own lane, in your own, not even lane, your own universe, your own world that is abundant, that is beautiful, that is magical. And this masculine wants to know how to access that. It's like you have keys accessing this kind of reality that they didn't even know existed until they encountered you, which is why your meeting is so much more significant than just your interpersonal relationship or this love connection or whatever this is. It's about them touching with a really super abundant, high energy timeline that they only seem to have access to at the moment through you. And in fact, I have to say, Divine Feminine, something to be aware of is this actually may happen often in your life where you encounter people, whether it's a masculine or a feminine, but you meet with individuals or encounter individuals who see through you glimpses of the very high vibrational timeline that you are existing on. But for many of them, their only access point to that timeline seems to be you. And it's such an enigma for them. It's something that is almost difficult for them to fathom. It's why so many people are perceiving you right now as being almost angelic or goddess-like or ethereal, unearthly, almost like not of this world, because you literally are not from their world. You exist in a higher world, in a higher timeline. And so you seem to attract these situations where you meet people in the middle, in a sense, with the Hanged Man reversed. You meet people who are in this state of apathy or stagnating in their life, when someone needs a catalyst or an activation or a push towards their highest timeline, very often they will manifest some kind of brief interaction or connection with you. Now, it doesn't have to be brief, but very often it is brief just because it can be difficult for people coming from such a different vibrational reality to actually raise their frequency high enough to that level to be able to connect with you consistently after that brief interaction. But the exception with the masculine coming up in this reading is, I feel this meeting could have gone like many others you've had, and maybe you expected it to go that way, where this masculine met you, was mesmerized by you existing in this totally different world, this totally different energy, embodying abundance, magnetism, this unconditional love, this freedom. And then maybe you suspected that they would just kind of drop back into their baseline energy. But the thing is, this person feels so much love for you, and they feel that heart chakra connection to you so strongly that they are really putting in the work to claw their way out of that lower vibrational energy to be able to keep connecting with you consistently. Because I'm just getting this element of surprise, almost like you felt the attraction to this masculine just as they felt it to you initially, but through experience, you've come to be very cautious to know that it can take time for someone to be able to align with you consistently, and you've learned to surrender into that, not to push it, to kind of just allow it to unfold, to see where things go. And more often than not, people seem to not be able to sustain the high frequency necessary in order to connect with you consistently. But this is a masculine who, again, they feel so much love for you. I just saw the number 3131, that they're determined to hold on and stand their ground here. You may be very surprised to discover this masculine's resiliency and persistence when it comes to working on themselves, bettering themselves, empowering themselves, so that they can make an offer to you that they really feel is worth your while. I'm hearing take your time and let this continue to unfold, because at the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Cups in the upright position. So I feel not only are you this masculine's true wish fulfillment, but which again, I feel happens often, where someone looks at you as their wish fulfillment, but then doesn't put in the work to align with you consistently. But in this case, not only are you their wish fulfillment, but there is that drive, that resiliency, that persistence to really stay connected with you. So I feel like this is a beautiful place to close this part of the reading. I will be channeling a final Rumi Oracle message, but if this reading has been connecting for you and you want to keep going deeper into the messages, I will be heading over to Patreon after this recording. And in our Patreon Soul Tribe, we will be taking a look at this masculine's deeper thoughts and feelings, any other messages they want to share with you, as well as how they are planning on progressing this moving forward, and any other messages that want to come through. I will also be opening up the reading in a more general sense to pick up any other threads of energy that I'm sensing may be connecting with you at this time. So the link to that extended reading on Patreon is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video. But for now, I'm going to pull a message from the Angel Raspar, which is the Rumi Oracle card that we got for this reading. This is also very interesting because this is the same card that I pulled in one of the mini readings that I did earlier today. So clearly there is an ongoing trail of collective energy here. But the guidebook says, "Tell me the truth, I asked love. What are you?" "I am the everlasting life," love said. "I am the recurring joy of living." And the guidebook also says, "So shine true, be humble but not dismissive of your gifts. Allow others to find their way more easily because you choose to honor the power of the great silence that emanates from you as you trust and surrender. Although it may not unfold exactly as you anticipate, it will indeed unfold. You are making a positive impact in the world, more than you consciously realize, and therefore you are being asked to continue." So that feels like a beautiful place to close this reading. Thank you so much for tuning in today, If you would like to get updated whenever I share real-time messages about what I'm sensing coming through from the energy collectively, then I recommend subscribing to the channel and also turning on your notification bell so that you get notified when I post real-time messages and energy updates that could relate for you or help provide confirmation or clarity in your life. If anything here did connect as well, I would love to hear from you in the comments underneath the video. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing remainder of your day, and I will connect with you here again in the next reading.